In the waning months of the Clone Wars, the 501st faced missions critical to the agenda of Chancellor Palpatine. When we arrived at the bombed-out ruins of Megiddo, our Jedi commander believed we had been sent to take out a droid energy collector. What Ki-Adi-Mundi didn't know, however, was that our unit of the 501st was really after an experimental Megiddan power source that the Chancellor wanted for his super laser. Keeping Mundi in the dark wasn't easy. The Jedi had become increasingly wary of the Chancellor's doings, and were on the lookout for the slightest hint of treachery. Just like the rest of them, though, he never caught whiff of what was really going on until it was far too late.
All right, men. Today's target is an energy collector on the northern section of the platform. If we can take it down, production facilities in the area will grind to a halt. Let's move them out. The enemy's forward command post is on the other side of this bridge. We'll have to capture it before moving on.
Let's turn this place into a scrap pile.
Now we need to make some space for General Mundi to land. Take out those turrets and clear the deck. Fire! Battle droid! Stop that tank! One more to go. Listen up, man. Before we can begin our assault on the energy collector, we have to get past the shield barricade, get behind the shield, and take out the generator. Capture the CP will serve as an excellent lookout point for our mission. Before we can begin our assault on the SEP's energy collector, we have to penetrate their shield barricade. So load up and move out. Come on! Mark that turret! Take down the core shield by destroying the generator. Down. Let's take out the core. Now collect the core samples and return them to the dropship on the other side of the bridge. Now take the crystals back to the dropship.
Watch your... Sir, I can see the dropship.
Nicely done, gentlemen. Your work here today has made the Chancellor a very happy man.
The success of the mission on Megiddo was something of a revelation for the men of the 501st. Suddenly, we realized that the Jedi could be fooled. And if they could be fooled, they could be killed. As the Clone Wars progressed, more and more ground-based legions found themselves pressed into space combat, including the fighting forces of the 501st. For months, every hour of our downtime was spent in the simulator, preparing for the time we would face our enemies from the cockpit of a 170. Finally, the day came to earn our wings. The CIS had staged a daring kidnapping of Chancellor Palpatine, and was being escorted from Coruscant by a fleet of separatist ships. With only a few veteran pilots on planet, many of the 501st were pressed into service to drive off the Seps and buy time for a pair of Jedi Knights to rescue the Chancellor.
This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill.
Pilots and Marines, get to your ships. The Jedi are depending on you. Incoming fighters, take them out.
Fighter, on your tail. Take down that TIE fighter. repeat, this is not a drill.
The droid communications array. That'll give you an opening. Well done. Now that they're in disarray, fly into their hangar and land. Be careful. Use rockets or time bombs to destroy the internal systems. Grab a fighter and destroy the bridge of the enemy cruiser. With flying like that, the Republic is well on its way to victory.
After disabling the final capital ship, General Kenobi and Skywalker took advantage of the opportunity we'd created and rescued the Chancellor. Took all the credit, too. It's been said that the 501st got the best of the war. We also got the worst. Unfelucia.
Our forward unit is under attack by some kind of creatures. Get up there and give them some support.
What is that thing? These things are everywhere! Where are they? Oh no, they're all dead!
This ATTE is out of commission.
Movement to the north!
Here they come. Wipe out these creatures before they rip our unit apart. CIS units have been detected moving in this direction. Defend the ATTE until Jedi Master Sakuda arrives.
Extend in the super.
Sakuda has landed. A Republic gunship crashed in the brush near here. Acquire its power cell and bring it back to reactivate the ATTE. Nice work. The ATTE has been reactivated. The CIS offensive is being mounted from the fungal tree to the south. Advance on their base of operations there and take out their primary defense turrets.
When the 501st was finally rotated out of Felucia, Ayla Sakuda made a point of seeing us off personally, calling us the bravest soldiers she had ever seen. It's a good thing we were wearing helmets, because none of us could bear to look her in the eye. When the Separatists' invasion of Kashyyyk caught the Republic flat-footed, a detachment of the 501st was sent in to stop the bleeding until reinforcements could arrive. It was a textbook suicide mission, and we knew it. As we fought our way into Kashyyyk's atmosphere, most of us believed that the only way we'd be getting off this planet was in a body bag.
Control to pilots. Prep your ships for battle.
The droids have put up a blockade around Kashyyyk. If we're going to punch through, we'll need to weaken their forces. Pilots, focus your attacks on their support ships. Guns are pounding our shields. Take out those heavy turrets. Well done, pilot. Head back to the hangar for your next objective. Pilot, we need you to take an LAAT into the enemy hangar, land it, and destroy the ship's internal systems.
Bomber incoming. Repeat, bomber incoming. You picked up a bomber.
systems and destroy their fuel and life support systems. Mission pilot. Grab the enemy's battle plan holocron and bring it back to our hangar.
Control to pilots. Prep your ships for battle. Watch your tail. Don't let that try get away. Copy that. Getting out.
Well done, man. Now let's get down there and liberate Kashyyyk.
As the 501st finally broke through the SEP blockade over Kashyyyk, I took a long look back at the battle that continued to rage over the planet and wondered why so many had to die for a bunch of walking carpets. Then I followed my orders and turned planetward. When we arrived on Kashyyyk, things were just as bad as we feared. The droids had us outgunned, outmaneuvered, and outmanned by a 5-to-1 margin. What none of us had counted on was the Wookiees. We'd all heard the stories, of course, but we'd never fought next to them. Never seen them rip apart a droid with their bare hands. They were magnificent. Even so, it was still a suicide mission. At least it was until Master Yoda arrived. Then it became a battle. A winnable battle.
This is it, men. We have to hold this beachhead until reinforcements arrive. No retreats, no excuses. The seawall. We must protect the Wookiee base. We must defend the oil refinery at all costs. If we don't, this whole place is going to blow. Brace yourselves. To hold them back, man. Now let's push forward and send them packing.
Proud I am to stand by Wookiees in their hour of need.
You'll use them.
Our reinforcements are being depleted.
fight another day.
With the timely arrival of Master Yoda, the 501st was able to hold the line against the Seps on Kashyyyk. We left as heroes. Years later, we'd return as conquerors. In our bones, we knew the war was almost over. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see which side would make the final, daring move. As fortune would have it, the Republic moved first. After the Chancellor informed the Jedi Council that General Grievous and the Sep leaders were hiding on Utapau, General Kenobi gathered an army large enough to capture 3 star systems. When the orders reached the 501st, our morale soared. For better or worse, this would be the beginning of the end.
There is a 2-story building just a bit southwest of your position. Assault that command post. The CP will serve as an excellent lookout point for our mission. Further down the highway. Clear any enemies on the highway and secure the area. Secure Hangar 10, and we'll send in a dropship to back you up. General Obi-Wan has landed on this level. He should be able to help you troopers quite a bit. By the Force, General Grievous is stationed in Hangar 10. Take him out before he wipes out our forces.
Although I'm leaving, the Force will be with you. Always.
There's some AA guns in Hangar 10 that are causing our flyboys quite a bit of trouble. They need you to destroy those guns, and they're gonna land the heavy support units. The other gun at Hangar 10 will be ours. Stand by for heavy support unit, soldier. Tanks incoming. Now, soldier, destroy that energy tower. We are victorious.
With the death of General Grievous at the hands of General Kenobi, the Utapau raid had broken the back of the Separatists. Under normal circumstances, it would have been a time for celebration. But our next orders put paid to those thoughts. What I remember about the rise of the Empire is how quiet it was. During the waning hours of the Clone Wars, the 501st Legion was discreetly transferred back to Coruscant. It was a silent trip. We all knew what was about to happen, what we're about to do. Did we have any doubts? Any private, traitorous thoughts? Perhaps, but no one said a word. Not on the flight to Coruscant, not when Order 66 came down, and not when we marched into the Jedi Temple. Not a word.
Tonight, the fall of the Jedi is at hand. We have been directed by the highest authority to wipe out the insurgent Jedi Order that threatens our great empire. Our first objective is to capture the Council Chamber. Lord Vader will be our field commander. Let's keep the cheddar low and move out.
Don't let the Jedi get you.
Attention troops, double time to the library. The Jedi are attempting to destroy the library's holobox. In direct defiance of command. Stop them. Stop the destruction of the Jedi holobox. If you can keep at least one of the bookcases intact for at least 2 minutes, command can scan the contents of the library.
Form up. Get my back. On your 6. Copy that. Take down the Jedi. One shot, one kill. That's the way it's done. For the Republic! Fixing turret.
Your next objectives are a pair of holocrons, rumored to contain the sum of Sith and Jedi knowledge. The first one is located on the comm room. Retrieve it and bring it to the veranda.
Rank shooting trooper!
Star Chamber. You must defeat this Jedi and bring this holocron to the veranda drop-off point. Excellent progress. With the last of the holocrons secured, we can deal with the remainder of the Jedi here. Execute the 3 Jedi Masters who have poisoned the minds of their impressionable students against the Empire. Let them bear witness to the cost of rebellion. Well done. Our new Emperor will be pleased. Primary mission objectives complete. The Jedi Temple has been secured. With the fall of Coruscant and the elimination of the traitorous Jedi, Palpatine's rise to power was complete. In recognition of our service and loyalty to the Emperor, the 501st were placed under the direct command of Lord Vader. Armed with deadly new weapons, blazing new ships, and shiny new armor, our presence let the galaxy know that the days of the old Republic were well and truly over. We were establishing a new era, an era of order and peace. During the rise of the Empire, the Emperor's home planet of Naboo rapidly established itself as a major irritant. After a number of Naboo's ambassadors were sent home in various states of dismemberment, her newly elected queen broke off diplomatic ties and began exploring military options. Clearly, it was time for a regime change. A change that would be effected by the 501st, now under the direct command of Darth Vader. Our orders were simple: to infiltrate the city, take out their leader, sending a clear signal to other potential troublemakers in the Empire.
Welcome to the capital city of Theed. Tonight, we will be performing a radical destabilization of the Theed government by the elimination of their queen. She is heavily guarded in the central plaza by a group of Jedi and an auto-turret. In order to defeat these defenses, we must set up a perimeter around the central plaza and shut down the auto-turret. Careful. Your numbers are few, and the mission's success rests on you. Now it's on to the Embassy Plaza. Move out. far so good. Now capture the guard post past the embassy. If you need some extra firepower, we've managed to sneak a tank for you at the embassy command post. Use it wisely. Now we must destroy the auto-turret grid console, clearing access to the central plaza. Destroy it, and the Queen will be ours.
For the Empire! Great shooting! Watch that turret!
The Queen's personal Jedi bodyguards have broken from the palace. Destroy them.
Watch your fire! Check your fire!
Watch out, soldier. The auto-turret grid is still online. Keep you and your men out of the central plaza until we can find a way to shut down the turret grid. Her royal guard are trying to escape. Quickly, you must eliminate the Queen at all costs. You have performed a great service for the Empire. The Queen's death will serve as an example to other nascent rebellions, saving countless lives.
With the Queen eliminated, Naboo quickly fell in line. It was the first time the 501st was called upon to adjust a planet's government. But it wouldn't be the last. Within months, the 501st gained a well-deserved reputation as Vader's fist. Although the Clone Wars were over, some people never seemed to get the message. The worst case of denial was Gizor Delso, a Geonosian separatist who'd somehow escaped Lord Vader's efforts to wipe out the remnants of the CIS. Lord Vader tracked him to Mustafar and brought us in to finish the job. It seemed like a simple enough mission. But when we saw the fleet of droid ships hovering over the planet, we suddenly realized that Delso's denial mechanisms were a little more dangerous than we'd imagined.
Sir, the droids have landed on our ship. We can't launch our fighters.
Calm down, pilot. Get out there and destroy that transport. Use any means necessary to clear the hangar. All right, men. Now get into your fighters and give those droids all you've got. Destroy their fighters and bombers. Watch out for the asteroids, pilots. They're easy to destroy, but that doesn't mean they aren't dangerous.
That was mine. Copy that. Taking up secondary position. Exiting vehicle. All hands man your battle station. Yes, sir. Scout. Well done, Lieutenant.
Shields. Use a bomber to deliver the maximum damage.
Now hear this. All hands man your battle station. Careful, there's a recon bomber on your stick.
new order. He wants someone to land in the enemy's hangar, steal one of their strike bombers, and return it to our hangar. Get moving, pilots.
Careful, there's a recon bomber on your stick. Well done, Lieutenant.
Excellent job, pilots. Lord Vader will be most pleased.
Target that bomber.
The slight whiff of nostalgia the 501st had enjoyed fighting the droid fleet over Mustafar had already grown sour by the time we'd established orbital positions. Now it was time to find out what this was all about. By the time we'd made our way to the molten surface of Mustafar, it was apparent that Delso had been a busy little bug. All by his lonesome, he'd found a previously hidden droid factory, fired it up and cranked out his own private army of battle droids. Needless to say, this got the men of the 501st a little hot under the helmet, and not just because of all that lava. Truth be told, we'd all had our fill of those gearheads during the war, and we couldn't stomach the thought of going through another one. So we blew them up. Blew up the droids, blew up the factory. Damn near blew up the planet.
Take control of the lava observation room.
Check your fire!
Take control of the walkway.
Watch out for snipers!
Keep moving.
Sniper spotted at 2 o'clock. They're trying to flank us.
That collection base looks like a good place to make a stand. Capture it. droid we don't destroy today will come back to haunt us tomorrow. Wipe them out. These Geonosians have been working on a new Confederate infantry prototype. Destroy the schematics before they can use them to build a new droid army. One of our boys got killed bringing the other beacon. Go out and retrieve it.
Take out the droids!
Get that beacon to the central antenna. Pull back to the collection base and watch the fireworks.
Raining bugs!
Kill them all! Guys or Delta pursuit defeated. Scratch one droid rebellion.
The destruction of the mining facility put an end to any thoughts of a second droid rebellion. For the first time in years, the man of the 501st could relax and get about the business of maintaining an empire, rather than building one. Officially, there never was a clone rebellion on Kamino. Unofficially, approximately 20 years after we were created, a special detachment of the Imperial 501st Legion was dispatched to Kamino with orders to eradicate an army of clones that had been bred to take arms against the Empire. Our mission commander, an expert on the inner workings of Kamino, was a young bounty hunter named Boba Fett.
Fett on the job.
Boba Fett has been chosen to lead a small task force into the Kamino Cloning Center. His familiarity with the center's layout and access codes should give us the element of surprise. I will simply collect some DNA samples from our evil brothers. Get that sample back to ship immediately.
Is that all you've got? This job's finished. I'm out of here.
Target the turret. Follow me.
Get that sample back to ship immediately.
Copy that. Roger that.
Watch that turret.
Repairing turret.
Get that sample back to ship immediately. DNA sample secure. Pulling ship back to a safe distance. Good job. Now take that CP and await further orders. You know your objectives. Destroy the computers keeping the Kaminoans' clone pods alive before they can create any more traitorous anti-troopers.
soon.
The Kaminoans are evacuating in 5 minutes. Take down their transports before they can escape.
The bounty hunter left after the battle was over. He said something about tracking down a smuggler on Tatooine. After the Camino uprising, the Emperor decided that an army of genetically identical soldiers was too susceptible to corruption. Future troopers would be cloned from a variety of templates. Though the 501st itself remained pure, the rest of the Imperial Army gradually became more and more diverse. We never really got used to the new guys. Once it was finally finished, the Death Star was the Emperor's favorite toy. It was also the most boring assignment in the galaxy for a stormtrooper. Tedious inspection drills, endless hours of guarding impregnable force field generators. Things got so bad that when a prison break erupted in the cell block, we were almost happy to have someone shooting at us again. If only we'd known what an embarrassing snipe storm we were about to wade into. We probably would have jettisoned the whole detention block into space.
Attention, Hangar 84G. There is a prison riot in progress. A contingent of the 501st is inbound from an exterior inspection. Join up with the squad mates in the hangar and quell this riot. Rebel forces are converging on Hangar 84G. We cannot allow any of them to escape. Defend the hangar. 84G is secure. The riot originated in cell block 2180. Get up there and secure that cell block.
Squash the scum! Cut them off! And stay down! Watch your flanks. Grenade! Grenade! Well, they're on our side.
One of the rebels managed to get his hands on the plans for this battle station. We cannot allow those plans to leave this outpost. Dispatch the rebel carrying the plans and return them to our forces. Well done. The plans have been secured. The prisoners have captured the fire control room. You must not allow them to damage the main cannon.
Check your fire! We need more troopers like you! Now that's the way it's done! Great shooting!
The fire control room is ours. The rebels have infiltrated Hangar 85G and are preparing to escape in one of the shuttles. Get to the hangar and take out that shuttle before it takes off.
Nice finish, trooper!
Get the rebel!
They're trying to flank us! Sniper!
Well done, Trooper. No one escaped the Death Star. Troopers, there is a Jedi in the TIE hangar. He is the source of this rebellion. Destroy this man. Now. The rebel leader has been destroyed. Our reinforcements can take it from here. The uprising has been crushed. Well done, Trooper. Lord Vader will be most pleased with your performance.
After the embarrassment of the prison break, Lord Vader removed us from our comfortable belay and began dragging the 501st across the galaxy in a dangerous hunt for the now missing Death Star plans. Ironically, our punishment eventually proved to be our salvation. The poor souls who took our place in the detention area were completely wiped out when the Death Star was destroyed. By the time of the raid on Polis Massa, the men of the 501st were starting to get a little sick of this so-called rebellion. In the past, we'd secretly enjoyed putting down a local insurrection or two. They kept the troops sharp and the Empire feared. But these rebels were different. They were organized, they were growing, and they were everywhere. The raid on Polis Massa was a perfect example of how things were starting to fall apart. We were supposed to go in, wipe out a small band of rebels, and recover some stolen Imperial plans on an encrypted holodisk. Before we knew it, we were nearly overrun by rebel forces, with the holodisk nowhere to be found.
All right, men, Lord Vader wants this raid done by the book. Our first objective is the comm center, just beyond this hangar. Nicely executed, troops. Now it's time to make our way to the base command building on the far side of the facility. If our intelligence is right, along the way we'll find a rebel holodisk containing some very important plans. take time to realign the comm dish and transmit the data from the holodisk. You'll have to hold off the rebels until the transmission is complete. Do not let the comm facility fall into enemy hands. Caverns of this complex. The rebels have a data bank that holds Imperial encryption codes that can be used to eavesdrop on our ship-to-ship communications. Make your way to the caverns and destroy the data bank.
Where's the sniper?
Nice finish, Trooper. Watch your fire.
I've got good news and bad news. The good news is it's time to get off this dreary rock. The bad news is the rebels have taken over the hangars. You'll have to fight our way out. Our raid is a success. And even though the holodisk didn't have the plans we're looking for, it will lead us to someone who does.
Even though the Polis Massa raid was only a partial success, we finally had a lead on the whereabouts of the Death Star plans, which suited the 501st just fine.